Now, I don't know about you, but when I was a kid and I came home from school, I went right to the fridge. Little did I know what dangers lurked in there.
In the early 1900s, the way people kept food fresh is they had a device known as an ice box. And a ice deliverer would go down the street in a horse-drawn wagon and deliver them a big block of ice.
But ice has a big problem. It melts. And the ice boxes aren't particularly well insulated, so the ice is gone every day or two, and you have to replace it before the food spoils.
This is a pretty crappy system. It produces its own kind of rot and flies. It's not a good situation.
But then, in 1918, automobile pioneer William Durant has a breakthrough.
He mass produces a home refrigerator for the very first time, really making ice boxes obsolete.
Today, everyone has a fridge. We take it for granted. But back then, it's like a miracle. Suddenly, you don't have to worry about your food going bad.
The electric refrigerator becomes a must-have appliance for every American. And in the early 1930s, only about 8% of the American public has an electric refrigerator in their home. By the end of the decade, it's half the country. It really is the epitome of the American dream. Any food you want at any time, no icebox required.
What's at the core of this huge innovation?
Let's think a little bit about a refrigerator. It's an insulated box, and it's kept cool because this refrigerant, some coolant, if you will, is traveling through the inside and keeping the inside cool.
The refrigerants in these machines is ammonia, methyl chloride, and sulfur dioxide. In other words, poisons.
Once these refrigerators make it into people's homes, problems start, in that the compressors start leaking toxic gas.
Sulfur dioxide can cause loss of vision and skin burns. Methyl chloride, just a few hours of exposure can lead to death.
In just a handful of months, in 1929 in Chicago, 15 people are killed from refrigerator leaks. There's even a refrigerator leak in 1937 that causes an evacuation in the White House. The leak is so severe, it turns the roses in one room from red to white. I mean, completely destroys the pigment in them.
Families started putting them outside the house just in case a leak occurred.
Just imagine, you're so afraid of your refrigerator, you gotta keep it outside. Refrigerator companies are getting so much bad press. They really begin to wonder if it's gonna kill their sales.
A year after the Chicago tragedies, thanks to a chemical engineer named Thomas Midgley Jr., a new coolant is developed, Freon.
Tom Midgley says Freon is the way of the future. It is a cooling gas that is safer and it's non-flammable. And to demonstrate it in front of a crowd, he inhales a huge amount of Freon and he blows out a candle. Perfect, right? No, not perfect. Tom, Freon is not safe to inhale. You don't do that.
Freon becomes the norm for the next 7 decades and is also instrumental in the creation of air conditioners.
Eventually, scientists come to understand that Freon depletes the ozone layer. In 2015, scientists and governments alike began to phase out Freon in favor of other coolants.
I have a good relationship with my fridge these days, but perhaps tonight I will sleep with one eye open, cast towards my kitchen tonight, just to make sure that I don't go out in the stupidest way imaginable. Here lies Brian Quinn, killed by a fridge.
Did you know that there are tons of everyday items that were invented by the US military? Like the microwave oven, duct tape, super glue, and one very famous insecticide. Or should I say, infamous.
The American military has a problem. It's fighting a war in the Pacific in a tropical zone.
During World War II, American soldiers are under attack by insects.
Bugs and their insect-borne diseases are almost as much of an enemy as the enemy.
A Swiss chemist uncovers this new chemical compound called DDT. And this stuff is great. It's a powerful insecticide, it doesn't irritate human skin, and it remains effective for up to 30 days.
The DDT becomes the Allied forces' insecticide of choice.
DDT comes home from the war a hero, and it's about to become the product for domestic use in American suburbs and farmland.
By 1945, DDT goes on sale as sprays, as powders, as mists. It's for sale in grocery stores, department stores, hardware stores. DDT is everywhere, and it's a hit. It's used on livestock, in farms, and in crops. People are eating food sprayed with DDT.
Used right, it is absolutely harmless to humans and animals, but to insects, it is deadly.
Dry cleaners were added into their solutions to ward off moths.
In the U.S. alone, over 1.3 billion pounds of DDT are sold during the 30 years that follow.
At the height of its popularity, DDT is used all over. On the body as a lice treatment, sprinkled directly onto the skin and hair, on clothing and bedding to kill insects and prevent disease, sprayed on walls, furniture, mattresses, and floors.
All people have to do is to press the patented top like this.
It's used in public spaces like schools, hospitals, and theaters, and most famously on suburban lawns.
America's lawns, gardens, and farms have never looked better. But it takes years before anyone realizes that this comes at a very high price.
DDT, it seemed like such a miracle cure-all. But over time, they realized that, oh my God, there's health effects involved in using DDT.
DDT can lead to hormonal disruption that can lead to cancer, diabetes, male infertility, impaired neurological development, and neurological diseases.
By the time all of these hazards have been discovered, people have been eating food, spraying their own clothes, treating their homes with DDT for decades.
When we were kids, we would hear the DDT truck coming, and it would be spewing out literally a thick gray cloud of DDT-infused smoke. And the game was who could get closer to the pipe. Looking back, not a good idea running around in a cloud of DDT, but it was sure fun.
As fate would have it, by the 1970s, DDT fell out of favor, not because of what it was doing, but because of what it wasn't. Insects developed an immunity to it.